Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Fireside Casts. We got some advanced gaming going on tonight. Going to be the team Wild Rumpus, not to be confused with me, the individual named Wild Rumpus, versus, I got to tab out to check this team, Moose Hate Club. Also, I think was going by the name like Quake Academy or something, but if any of you remember Quake as a sort of team and a group of people, this is them. I am joined tonight by M17. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Looking forward to a nice little advanced match. I think, we're going to be playing on process, or the teams are going to be playing on process tonight, I should say. We have siyo on production. Shout out to production as always. Next thing we'll do is I guess we'll just go down the list of teams real quick. I guess we'll start with the Moose Hate Club. Pocket Scout is Sears. Flank Scout is Jello Jiggler. Pocket Soldier is Six. Roamer is going to be Rero. Demo is Tiny. And Medic is Windows XP.
Yeah, and as for Wild Rumpus, Bane and Eric are the scouts. Raven is usually their soldier. I don't know if he's pocket or roamer, to be honest. But unfortunately, Raven is unable to play for the time being, just recovering from a surgery. So in his place will be Greg, and those three did make up a previous Wild Rumpus iteration back in Season 10, so this is kind of the reforming of that team. As far as the new faces go, Exile is definitely the most recent addition, and probably like maybe the odd one out as far as the group is concerned. Slug is going to be filling in on Medic, and they have picked up Spoonful on Demo as well, making out the full roster.
Yeah, and taking a look at these teams, I believe these are, if I remember correctly, these are some of the. I want to check this. Pretty sure these are like the top two teams, yeah, in advanced right now.
They're both 6-0, so one of them will leave this match with their first loss.
Yeah, and I'm taking a peek here, and it looks like the Wild Rumpus team has already played 3 matches on process, so a lot of experience there, whereas Moose Hate Club looks like they played only 1 match on process, but I mean, it is process. Everyone's played it, everyone's seen it nowadays, so it's not like they're really going to have that much of a competitive edge, because I guarantee you, one of the maps you always scrim in, or you always practice in your scrims is going to be process, so shouldn't see anything like too crazy here, but it'll really tell us which team is going to be favored, I think, for the rest of the season.
Yeah, true. And I mean, I think the scouts are going to be shaping things a lot. I mean, Bane and Eric are both very, very good. I know Sears was a main winner last season, but between them and Jello Jiggler, we'll have to see how they match up. But we are on the first mid, and it's going to be 6 landing on Greg. Unable to connect the air shot. Greg getting rebowed now. Both teams just playing the spam game, just playing on either side. Looks like Rero maybe posting up, ready for a bomb. Still just spamming. Double bomb comes out, though. Greg landing on the med, finds the kill. So now it's immediately keep Slug alive mode. Losing 3 combat for just the medic means that, yeah, red team going to have to vacate mid entirely and maybe even continue leaving depending on how the chase goes.
Yeah, but fortunately for red, for the Wild Rumpus team, they did manage to kill Windows, so they are going to have an Uber advantage. It's going to be about a 90% Uber, although it could be even larger because Windows had nobody go back for him. So we'll see how that plays out. 6 and Greg are going to do the classic roamer trade, or I guess just soldier trade in the IT door here. And now 4 players from the side of Wild Rumpus, they're already going in through IT. They do eventually use. Spoon does do a bomb. Not really going to catch anything, although Rero is behind on second, and so Exile and Eric are going to go back for Rero. Rero is going to get picked off, but they didn't really get much with this Uber, and Moose Hate Club is already right back in on mid.
Yeah, I'm surprised that soldier trade in IT definitely favored Wild Rumpus, being able to just push, knowing that there's 1 fewer soldier that can bomb for the force. But I don't know what they saw in that Uber. They took it anyway. At this point, the refight is going, honestly, well, I was going to say quite well for Moose Hate Club, but losing that soldier again means that things might slow down a little bit. They don't have Uber quite yet, so they can't just pop, but the threat of being close was enough to force out the red team, who finds another kill, but this Uber getting a kill on the demo. Slug is safe, but there might be more picks here in sewer. Yeah, Eric gonna go down. Exile just looking for a trade at this point, not gonna find it. So Uber getting 3 kills, including a demo, is more than enough for Moose Hate Club. And they're going to want to keep pressuring into last off the remaining 2 kills.
Yeah, 6 does go down early. Riro is in heaven, although Wild Rumpus team does see it. Here comes the bomb from Riro, but gets nothing onto Bane, who denies him. Spoon and Tiny fighting in the rollout door. Spoonful going to win that fight. So now it's a 3-player advantage on the side of Wild Rumpus. They're going to stack this point, trying to deny as many players as they can. Looks like they're only going to be able to deny 2, maybe. They actually just start to go IT fast. There is 6 up on Sniper in the forward spawn, but they denied the demo on the side of Moose Hate Club. But Greg is able to stuff the Sniper out, and it's just going to be a little bit of, pretty self-explanatory. Both teams just waiting till, or just backing up onto the second hold here. And
I don't know what
Moose Hate Club, they got Uber, so now it's going to be even Ubers, even players.
I don't know what that stack was about, because they could have just continued the pressure. And the fact that Windows was at like 80-90% means that maybe they'd be just a little bit passive, making your pressure a little bit better. Obviously, I don't expect Wild Rumpus to be playing ad there. Nonetheless, Exile will die. Greg actually getting caught during the pressure, so down 2 soldiers. Look at this, Moose Hate Club just taking space through choke fully. Slug surfing a big bomb there from Riro. Is going to be okay for the time being. 6 trying to follow up, but goes down, and now it's down 2 soldiers for the blue team.
Yeah, Slug had to use there. I think they were trying to get something aggressive, and they got 1 pick out of that. Here comes Greg trying to go in for a bomb to get the force, but Tiny's going to live. Windows, I believe, eats a lot of damage. He's very low. He's actually going to drop to Eric. Oh, no. And now that's going to be a lot better for the side of Wild Rumpus, even though this was looking really poor for them. But now they're just able to take mid, and Moose Hate Club has to back up to their own second, and they're going to be at Uber Disad, probably going to be pushed back out to their own last eventually, too.
Yeah, and this Uber, if they can successfully dry push into 2, which with the pace they're going right now definitely seems to be the case. And this is going to be add into last, and a shot for Wild Rumpus to get on the scoreboard and lead the round. Riro in on the sack with the 2 rocket on Slug. What a bomb from Riro. Greg dying as well. Maybe I spoke too soon, because now shoes on the other foot, and it's time for Moose Hate Club to have Uber ad.
Yeah, and now it's going to be Sears getting another kill into Exile. Both soldiers down on the side of Wild Rumpus, the team. Of course, I'll have to say that a few more times. Spoon is going to try and work his way out of IT. I think he's going to be able to get out safely. 6 is not going to be able to chase him, but Moose Hate Club has a 50% Uber ad, and it looks like because they're 1 player ad, they're already trying to get aggressive in through sewer even before they get Uber. Only 85% here. Riro does a nice bomb to help create some space, and the Wild Rumpus team is not going to contest this very much, and Moose Hate Club is already working their way into lobby with this 35% Uber ad, and they are going to actually walk through 4 without even having to use, and Riro kills the gun early.
Yeah, Captom coming out as well. That's going to draw in the soldier bombs. Only now Uber gets used, however. At least Exile gets traded out, but yeah, no. Just the full milk there. I mean, Red really just wasn't even set up, like, at all, to be honest. Point was not super thoroughly trapped. I mean, the combo was able to just kite through basically for free, milk through. Notably as well, Bane was on Spy there, maybe doing some off-class checking. I don't know if Sniper to mid is something that Moose Hate Club does, or if they're just trying to check maybe Medigun or something like that.
Yeah, Riro doing an aggressive bomb here. He's not going to be able to get much damage. Bane kills him pretty quickly. 6 does trade for Spoon, which is going to help, but they are down 2 soldiers for a demo on the side of Moose Hate Club, so they're already going to be playing pretty hesitantly here. Exile going to get a nice bomb onto the rock to help secure his team the midpoint, and it's going to be a 1 mid there for the Wild Rumpus team, and they're already moving their way forward here. Exile doing a little bit of spotting in choke, seeing what's available, and the combo, just Bane and Slug in the sewer area.
Yeah, Greg finds his way through IT completely for free, and with that, is going to kill Windows XP at 97%. So not even able to save themselves with Uber. Now down 2 soldiers, definitely Moose Hate Club taking advantage of that, trying to make something happen. Riro will bomb in, gets the force. That's 1 kill so far with the Uber. Uber's really just looking for kills at this point. Jello Jiggler is behind, is spotted behind. That might be the second kill they kind of wanted here. And they will be trying to fight that. Greg and Exile, 2 soldiers. Now Spoon wants a spoonful of it. And they do find that kill, but it definitely gave up the chokes and gave Moose Hate Club a bit of a dry fight here. So it looks like going to be backing out for Moose Hate Club. Definitely weak on the side of the Wild Rumpus team. Going to have to re-heal here. Uber's pretty much even. Windows XP has a little bit of ad, but it's not a ton. And it looks like the red team not really scared of that. They're going to be pressuring forward for just a standard sack. And based on Windows XP's positioning, oh man, look at this flank shove. 6 and Jello Jiggler. Both just completely blow through IT on some rap play, but 6 goes down. Eric will not be 1v1ing Jello Jiggler behind, but they know he's behind. And that means that that's a player not in front. And this pressure forward can be even stronger. Right. Greg goes down. Jello Jiggler actually finds a kill as well. Almost finds Exile as well. That would have been crazy. Because keep in mind, Jello Jiggler was like behind that whole time. Just wreaking havoc. The 2-for-1 trade, though, definitely holdable here for Wild Rumpus. Seer is going to get caught in choke, actually, as the exchange gets popped. Definitely a better exchange for the time being for the red team, considering that they got that kill before the Uber got popped. Finding 6 in the post is quite nice as well. And that's a kill into last if they want to just immediately pressure. All right. They are going to be, by they, I mean the Wild Rumpus team, going to be taking lobby here. Spawners have spawned, so that window of opportunity is gone now. But the soldier bomb, oh wow. That was like a 1 rocket. That was just a tiny bit of spam plus a headshot rocket while the med was jumping to crater the med. Just deadly stuff. And you can get away with stuff like that when the med is pretty close to the door without the sentry being constructed yet. So now Wild Rumpus in a great position. I think this is the first time they've had Uber advantage into last. All right, we'll see how this goes. 6 actually showing off some tech here, going for that silent taunt, the director's vision, just to peek around the corner, and is unspotted, remains unspotted, and will find Exile. Okay, so that play works out. Uber does get popped, it finds the gun, and isn't finding any kills. Eric might actually go down here, so failed Uber from Wild Rumpus. And 6 is on the hunt as well. Nice arrow from Slug to keep Spoon alive, but down 3. Red team's gonna have to leave. Bane finds a kill there, but nonetheless, still going to be disad. Red team is still going to be backing up. It's actually not as much disad as it maybe could have been. Windows XP really only like 20% ad here, so if Slug's spotted, or if Slug might be an Ubersaw player, honestly. But, you know, if you build well here, then suddenly you're sitting at 85% before they push. It's like, hey, everyone live and we can just immediately repop, which against this ITUs might be exactly what's happening. Okay, the repop does happen. It finds 6. Seer's definitely caught out here towards choke, trying to get focused down. Does die. And yeah, the pick's definitely coming in. That's 3 kills with what was basically just a much better Uber there. Yeah, better building really made the difference there. I think that Moose Hate Club thought it was bigger ad. Jello Jiggler actually just checking Greg there. And I know they have like some kind of e-dating aliases matching each other or something, so I think there's some rivalry there. 6, again with the aggro lobby play, this time it really doesn't work out, however. And in the future we'll see how the red team adjusts, because a play like he pulled off by 5, finding that kill for the disad, it's not something you can do pretty regularly, you know? It's something that people will adjust to. The attempted pressure into last doesn't really materialize into anything. There was no ad to go off of. I don't even know if there was player ad, but when there's space, you can take space and make the opponents uncomfortable. That seemed to be what was happening there. At this point, Ubers have fully evened out, though. Both meds have Uber. Gun is being moved, is level 2, being put into position, so we are seeing the red team attempt to pressure. What a rocket there from Greg. Just going to juggle Tiny into lobby. Find that demo kill. Exile does not end up doing much. Oh, and Greg dies as well. So sort of a wasted opportunity there with the demo pick. But alas, it happens. We are going to be counter-sacking and just barely escaping. But the spawner's here to clean up, so... yeah, not much success on the counter-sack either, and 6 dies. So now down both soldiers. This gun is probably not long for this world, I would imagine, since there's going to be multiple doors that are free. Bane actually eating a ton of damage to the gun, but now it's getting spammed. Now it goes down, and Eric is just already through. Wow. Very fast pace. Oh, man. And Red's taking the Uber. They are not waiting. I mean, Greg's the only player who died. I like this pace. Spoon does get flashed. They're finding kills. They're finding cap time. It's looking pretty good. And they do actually cap right in front of the heavy. Yeah, overall, just good stuff there. I really like the pace with which Eric was already through 3. Basically as the gun was going down. Honestly, like, just assuming that the gun would be shooting someone else. Because it seemed like before Blue could even react to the gun being down and being like, okay, here's coming the sack. He's already in, giving the medic some back shots. All right, tie game. We're looking at a new mid here. Greg playing some spam on the right side. Spoon getting pressured a little bit by Jello Jiggler on the other side. Last time around, the Greg bomb did find the med kill. This time around, he's eating some spam. Gonna have to get a pack, so we probably won't see much red aggression for a few seconds until Greg gets healthy again. And again, both teams just playing the spam game.
Yeah, and here comes that double soldier bomb from the soldiers of Loose Hate Club. They do get the force, but they are going to lose 2, and it looks like they're actually going to lose Tiny as well and choke down 3. They did get a pick on the side of Wild Rumpus, and they are actually going to pick off Riro, who's caught behind, and now it's going to be Wild Rumpus' team moving into second, but they are going to be at Uber Disad, and since I think there's going to be enough time for the spawners on Moose Hate Club to get here, we will probably see Moose Hate Club push out. But it's going to be a little tough because they still have to wait probably for one player. You got to be careful of those back caps.
I was going to say,
Wild Rumpus is
keep my eyes on Greg
yeah,
there.
actually.
Unfortunately, didn't find the timing, but I mean, that's like something you can do on roamers in those positions where you know they're backing up to last. Especially if they have ad, you can get into one of those crazy positions. Didn't find the pick he was looking for, but nonetheless. Uber actually getting popped here. Spoon is able to jump out. What a bow from Slug as well to keep him alive. Spoon was by all rights caught there, but managed to stay alive nonetheless. And Slug now at 90. We might see a pretty quick repop. Mid not even really getting capped either. Riro bombing in. Doesn't get the rocket off that was needed. Slug couldn't save himself with Uber there either. And this successful dry push. Not even much cap time, so you don't really have to worry about a back cap play either. Are they just taking it into 2? They are.
Yeah, I think 6 might have accidentally tabbed out or something, but now it's going to be down 2 soldiers for the side of Moose Hate Club, and because of that, already a lot of pressure in from the side of Wild Rumpus. Spoon is going to go down, though, and since there were some low players, I think they might cancel, although Bane does get a pick onto Riro, which is definitely going to help, but there's also a 300 HP heavy on Jello Jiggler, which means this is going to be tough, and now it's going to be about a 40-50% Uber ad for the side of Moose Hate Club, as the Wild Rumpus team is perfectly content to just sit back, set up for this disad hold, although Exile tried to go in for an aggressive setup, but was caught, unfortunately, by the combo of Moose Hate Club coming from one, and there's also a flank play happening. Greg and Eric tried to go for that back cap, but there were 3 in lobby ready for them, so that's not going to work out there.
And the unfortunate thing as well is that those 2 kills basically ensures that Moose Hate Club are going to dry push this point just because it's so much easier. Jello Jiggler, however, dying to a trap does alleviate things a little bit, and the building does materialize into a trade. Now we'll see how good this post is. Oh man, the convergence of tiny slugs going down for sure, yeah. Full salvage mode. Spoon actually deading for 3 kills. Everyone was so focused on the med, they just didn't realize there was a whole carpet there. So this post-Uber fight is going much, much better for Wild Rumpus, all things considered. And Slug's on the same spawn wave as Windows XP, so don't have to worry about Uber margins from that front, but that will be enough of a decisive fight win to convert a point out of.
Yeah, and it's going to get onto the even Uber situation on the last of Moose Hay Club. Again, score is 1-1. There's still 12 minutes left in this game, so definitely still some time before that continuous overtime gets set up. But yeah, Spoon just like was in the IT and just like set like an 8-sticky carpet or 8-sticky carpet up, excuse me. But they just, I don't know, like they just didn't see it or something. I'm not 100% sure what's happening there, but both teams are going to start building up their Uber, and it's going to be on the side of the Wild Rumpus team to try to get something going. Looks like Exil's already peeking that one door, but isn't going to find anything for now. There's a strong setup with the level 3 sentry, as you would expect, and yeah, this is something that teams definitely have practice with, so it's going to be hard to bust through. And we see it looks like they're going to bring their heals too to try to spam down the gun with both soldiers, but the, oh my goodness, the combo of Moose Hay Club was absolutely ready for it.
Honestly, Exile living there was pretty not only helpful, but like surprising, because it was looking like both soldiers were caught. And 6 got hard denied by Bane on the counter sack as well, so Wild Rumpus team has stabilized, and they find another kill. So they are actually in this kind of position where they have... Oh, the gun is down as well. Eric peeking 3, but not really committing quite yet. They wanted to send a sack, they could right now. Exile bombs in through 3. A lot of damage on the bomb. They're actually finding kills. Down goes Sears, Jello Jiggler, and Tiny. 2 of which were from the Exile bomb. They get the force. At this point, it's just 2 players up against an Uber. There's a spawner on the way, but yeah, this will not be enough. This is going to be a 1-2 game with 10 minutes left on the clock.
Somehow that was like the most perfect bomb timing ever, because the second that the soldier came in, Jello Jiggler picked up the gun, and all 4 of them on Moose Hay Club were standing on the point, so they just ate an insane amount of damage, but Jello Jiggler couldn't even NG shotgun to help do anything, and there's no sentry down to help shoot the soldier out of the sky, so it was just absolutely perfect timing for them. As we're going on to this 4th mid here, Soldier kind of late, Greg is, and he's trying to get back into the enemy team's IT. Moose Hay Club is just chilling for a few seconds, but here comes a high bomb from the side of Rero, and he's going to fade away. 6 is going to fade away as well. Greg is going to go back up with his team, and this definitely looks better in terms of health and positioning for Wild Rumpus. And there goes a pick on the side of Wild Rumpus. Jello Jiggler gets a kill, or gets killed. Spoonful got him. Exile got the kill into Windows. A bunch of trades happen, and it's just Sears left alive. And Sears is trying to ring around the rosy here in Sewer, is going to get picked off by the combo, and that's a full wipe on the side of Moose Hay Club, and Wild Rumpus is going to be pushing into last with this Uber advantage shortly. And there's also the traps on the spawn, but Wild Rumpus is, or excuse me, Moose Hay Club is prepared for that. So it's just going to be a standard hold setup here. Although Rero's actually aggressive in IT. I think he's trying to go for something. We'll see if they're ready for it.
Yeah, getting dealt with. Yeah, that corner on mid is colloquially known as the death corner. And it's a pretty common strat, actually, if a soldier goes IT, to just shove the opposite side of the mid so that he's useless. But they just waited around and didn't do anything. So Greg was actually able to just recommit to the fight. And yeah, didn't really do anything. Uber does get the gun, and these scouts are focusing down 6. Take a lot of damage for it. Exile actually dies as well. It's kind of shaky how things are going here. Actually, Bane dying might just cancel things, in fact. Ooh, but Greg is in heaven, and I don't think anyone knows. Yeah, everyone seems to be vacating. Greg has an opportunity here for sure. 6, I don't even think can spawn in time. Yeah, no one can make it. Throws off a Yeti taunt, and that's why you count players, I suppose. Or clear stuff, or what have you. Because that was just standard hide in heaven back cap off a failed Uber.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, it looked like Moose Hay Club were going to hold that, because Wild Rumpus had they had a miscoordinated, like, time push, because, like, Exile kind of just bombed into the heavy and scout by himself. But then Jello Jiggler cleared 1 and 2, but he just didn't clear, heaven. Nobody on the team cleared heaven, so that's a 3-1 lead for Wild Rumpus. We still have 8 minutes left in this game, so definitely still some time before it gets to that continuous overtime. Health is definitely favoring Moose Hate Club this mid, as here comes the bomb from 6. He is going to land right in on the ground. He's not going to get much. Sears gets a pick onto Spoon as well. Exile gets a kill onto 6. A bunch of trades happening, a soldier and a demo on both teams down, and because Eric has some high ground space, Wild Rumpus' team is able to walk all the way right back in. Exile doing so much distraction, but Rero gets bowed by Windows, so that's going to keep him alive. Bane is going to get the kill there, and now it's just 2 scouts on each team, and Ahmed, now it's just 1 scout on each team, but 6 died really early, and he's already back here to support his team, and that's going to spell Wild Rumpus' retreat from mid, although actually they were potentially thinking of re-pushing in and Uber exchanging, but they decided against it.
Yeah, if Spoon actually rolled out faster, I think they have a fight there, but that did not end up happening. So the faster spawner in 6 really just made all the difference there in what was basically just the same classes getting traded all the way down until it was the 2v2 Scout MGE. But, actually Exile,
Yeah, Exile
Highlander
on
player on a Highlander class here. Appears to be on Cloak and Dagger, which I am a notorious Cloak and Dagger hater in 6s because you get a lot of these positions where like the spy is just so slow. But seems that Moose Hate Club going to be completely unaware. It's going to find the demo. Okay. Could have maybe been looking for more. Obviously, you want the med pick, but I mean, a demo kill and being able to just go switch off, or in this case, go deeper. Honestly, like plenty of value out of the spy. Exile will continue going deeper as well.
That was so weird because like Moose Hate Club had so much space, but then they didn't like get the force or didn't like question why like there was not like that 6th player. I guess they just didn't realize that Exile, they didn't even consider Exile would go spy there. Bane gets a pick on Rero, who's trying to sack into the choke. Exile doing a little bit of an acting job, but Sears is aware and does get the kill onto Exile. So now it's a 5-on-5 even Ubers.
I bet his knife twitched there for a little bit. That was almost like a crazy trick stab on Sears. Greg is trying to make some space through sewer. 6 bombing forwards. Jello Jiggler again doing that patented behind play that worked very, very well last time. And with the extra kill, I mean, this is a lot more potent because this is now counter sack positioning. Exile is a spawner. Jello Jiggler is fighting the spawn. Yeah, just being contained. Spoon actually dying on the front lines, trading out with 6. Definitely going to open things up a little bit more for the Moose Hate Club, as we actually have a pause here, it would seem.
Yeah, it looks like Slug also ate a lot of damage. They just got kind of destroyed in choke there on the side of the Wild Rumpus team, so they're going to have to be backing up, and we'll see the Moose Hate Club. They'll be working their way into mid shortly. Jello Jiggler is also right behind the combo in, right at the entrance of choke, and Exile is kind of low. He's only at 80, so I don't think he will be able to help much, but it'll hopefully, at least for his team's sake, call out that Jello Jiggler is right behind the combo of the Wild Rumpus team. So we'll see how this plays out once this pause happens.
Yeah, it would not surprise me if this were a Wild Rumpus momentum stopping pause after a round or something, because Jello Jiggler really is in prime position to get a lot of value. The classes are better for Moose Hate Club. Greg might just straight up die here to this Rero bomb plus Sears aggression. Things could be going very poorly for the red team. And to be honest, when they've been pressuring into 2 on these even Ubers, they've been getting IT shoved pretty regularly, especially by Jello Jiggler, even though it's just a tiny low ground door compared to the crate. So maybe adjust things to better watch that. I mean, honestly, just a player on the crate spotting that is probably more than enough to compensate there. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, IT shells are normally, like you said, they're like pretty risky. So I'm surprised it is working out so well. But I'm very curious to see, because like these soldier bombs, I feel like they've either been like completely all or nothing, and I feel like the soldiers, I don't know, like maybe from my perspective, it doesn't look like the soldiers have like maybe they could use to potentially slow things down a bit and coordinate a little bit more, like taking space and giving their scouts room to do stuff as well, and not necessarily always committing. Because it just looks like the soldiers are always like getting health and things like seemingly like they're like always in and never like healthy, ready in a great situation to bomb. But I mean, it also is a a pretty fast-paced game, so it does make sense that they are always moving. But you know, that might be an adjustment that the teams might make that might slow things down, or we might just keep seeing the same speed and it's just, you know, like you said, that momentum stopping pause, which is definitely something that's really powerful, especially if your team might, get tilted. You might just need to, take a little breather, make sure everything's cool, you guys are focused up, that kind of thing, as we do unpause.
And Jello Jiggler actually gets immediately dealt with. Okay. This could be a momentum pause in either way, for the record. Or it could just be, like, attack if someone disconnected. Riro is caught here. It was funny looking to me because he was still sliding around. It looked like he was stuck on something, but... yeah, just staying and fighting. So things have actually stabilized. Oh, and Greg is in through IT yet again. It's just unspotted. That's the second time he's found that timing. This time it will be a force rather than just a med pick, but yeah, not great at all for Moose Hay Club.
Yeah, and that's going to be an 80% Uber disad. 6 is going to get caught by himself in sewer, and that's not going to be great for them. And here comes everybody on the side of the Wild Rumpus team through sewer, except for Eric, who's taking his time through choke. Exile gets in pretty aggressively. He's going to get his way out, and Riro goes in for a bomb onto Slug, but he's out in the open. He's got that scout support, so he's going to be able to get out safely. There's no gun up on the side of Moose Hay Club. Actually, they decided to swap off the heavy. It's just a sniper, and here comes the fast Uber in from the one door on the Wild Rumpus team. Spoon gets very aggressive, almost gets a kill onto the...
×5 though, wow.
Yeah, wow.
That
almost got a
was
kill
actually...
to the heavy, but it didn't matter because they got so much space and they just kept playing.
The Uber looked really bad, or really good, with 6 just being completely caught in front. But then he was able to get away, and it suddenly looked pretty bad. Like Spoon kind of splitting with the combo, jumping right in front of a heavy. But then the heavy just like reset binded instead of taking the kill, and the ×5 on point was just not taken into account.
Yeah, and we're on to this next mid here, and it looks like it was attack pause from Moose Hay Club, being down 1-4 and all. Still 3 minutes left, so they'll probably want to get a couple more rounds ideally for them before you get to that continuous overtime. Just for, I don't know, I mean, I guess it doesn't technically matter now because you're already down 4-1, but, you know, getting them before the continuous overtime can feel a little bit less stressful. Here comes the double bomb from the soldiers. Riro went first, and 6 is going to go in after, but Tiny went down early. Jello Jiggler did get 1 kill, but 6 also goes down. Exile with the bomb is going to get caught, but Windows is so low, and the rest of Moose Hay Club has to retreat due to Windows being low. And it's a 4-on-4 on mid, but the Wild Rumpus team has a demo, and Moose Hay Club does not. So this is going to be a little bit tough to hold, and we might see an early sack before Tiny gets here, although as I say that, she's already here, able to set up some traps on choke, so there shouldn't be any issues there.
Yep, things definitely stable for the time being. Exile going to be rolling out. And we've usually been seeing sewer pressure here. I expect to probably see the same thing. Spoon actually going to be trapping up choke. And no, it will be some IT pressure. IT has been a little loose, or at least Greg has found some nice timings through it in the past. This time around, both Riro and 6 are definitely posted up, ready to stop any shenanigans. As Slug and Bane actually just leave IT. Exile, in fact, being caught in there, lingering a little too long, so basically sack wasted there.
Yeah, and there's an attempted counter sack in from 6. He does get a little bit of damage onto Slug, but not really much, anything really to write home about, and it's just a 5-on-5 again. We're going to see the teams get healed up. There's already some early pressure from the Wild Rumpus team, just trying to go off the fact that their soldier respawner will be here first before 6 will get back in the fight for his team. Here comes a bomb from Greg. He gets no rockets onto Windows, so he's just going to go down. Sears cleaning that up, and Windows able to dodge everything. And here comes the attempted counter-sack, we assume, from the side of Moose Hay Club. Looks like Jello Jiggler's considering that IT shove, but this time Exile is on that crate, is able to cleanly watch that, and I think they're not going to be ready for it, although... yeah, it looks like they're not committing, although 6 is actually pretty aggressive. It looks like they have a bait play set up here, and 6 is in, but Bane is able to pick him off. That was a nice shove play from the Wild Rumpus team, and that's one kill for them. And Jello Jiggler is kind of low and had to back out to get tagged. So this is going to be a pressure from IT from the Wild Rumpus team.
Riro actually 1v1ing, well, getting 1v1'd in lobby from Exile. Isn't a trade, actually. The help from Jello Jiggler came just in time. Riro actually, or excuse me, Exile not too pleased about that in chat. Choke not being held at all. So with these 2 soldier kills, does turn into an exchange, actually. Bane getting the force relatively early, but yet again in one of those positions where Sludge getting surfed into the air, is able to get through the door safely, so it doesn't look like a med death in the post here. Things are going to be able to stabilize on 2, but the exchange really didn't get anything for Wild Rumpus. They got forced out anyway. They got their spawners at least, so things will be even here on second, but yeah, they're on their own 2 now.
Yeah, it definitely could have been worse, but it could have been better, as you mentioned. It's going to be even Ubers here, and as we should note, we are in the continuous overtime, so first team 2-5 rounds wins this map, and again, both these teams are undefeated at 6-0, so the winner of this match will go to 7-0, as Eric is going to trade out with 6, but actually 6 gets a second kill onto Greg. That's one player, that's an extra player for the side of Moose Hate Club, 5 versus 4 now. Exile is in sewer, and I think, yeah, they do realize, and they're actually going to punish him. Something you very much got to be careful of. You don't want to get too aggressive in the sewer there, as Moose Hate Club are smartly going to pick him off, and that's going to force the Wild Rumpus team back onto their own last. And they might not have time for a gun. Yeah, Riro's already getting into the 5 door here, already on the other side. Fortunately for the Wild Rumpus team, Greg is there to hold this off. 6 gets absolutely levitated by the level 1 sentry, and he's going to go down. And I think that's going to call a cancel there, and it's going to be an even Uber situation as the as 6 will respawn. Maybe we'll see a sniper here, because we did see him on sniper and forwards earlier, but that gives the Wild Rumpus team time to set up that gun and have a very strong setup. And they also, I was going to say they have Bane on Pyro, but I think, yeah, he's just off-class checking, and I believe he will be, noticing there is that sniper on 6, so they should know.
Yep, they definitely do. And a Pyro's going to do a decent job of messing up a sniper, especially considering I don't see 6 with any backpacks. So no Cozy Camper, full charge, ignoring the knockback, and especially no Darwin's Danger Shield, ignoring the afterburn, meaning this score shot is really going to mess up the sniper. Exile actually peeking the wrong door there is a pick, but now that the door's been identified, Dane's going to be spamming that out with some flares. Sniper going to rotate over towards 5 now. Oh, it's the exchange. I love this. The Pyro exchange. Pyro is such a fantastic exchange class because you just shoot through players. You get to control where Ubered players are with your air blast. The exchange finds 1 kill only on the sniper, which honestly, if anything, helps Moose Hate Club in the sense that the sniper can now spawn on Darwin's Danger Shield or something that helps against the Pyro. Does spawn sniper, in fact. But no loadout change, so 2 minutes left now. 6 really needs to get some value on this class, otherwise we may be looking at an exchange for overtime.
Yeah, it was a great exchange play to just counter for the fact that Exile got picked. This time Bane did off-class check again. Actually, there's a really aggressive push from Jello Jiggler trying to catch off Exile again. Not going to happen there. Eric's gun is going to get the kill there, and that's going to spell the backup, but since they have a sniper on the side of Moose Hate Club, this might be a little awkward for them, but I think they'll still be okay. I don't think the side of the Wild Rumpus team will want to push this, but this time, I was going to say Bane is off of the Pyro this time, but he is right back onto that Pyro, and this time they did an off-class check, so they probably won't know exactly what off-class is here.
I feel like they probably spotted.
Oh, yeah, they already spotted the sniper.
Definitely spotted now. Yeah, I mean, minute 40 left. You can still get away with a counter sack if you want, but into the sniper, you're just expecting to like get body shot and do nothing. So it makes sense why Wild Rumpus wouldn't really counter sack in that position. Jello Jiggler going to be peeking 1 alone. If he caught the wrong timing on an explosive class, that would be quite bad. Exile finds a timing behind and finds the force with it as well. So I expect to see a push out here. Especially with that sniper kill. Exile is still behind as well. He is converging on choke, but completely alone here. Exile dying might... Okay, Uber actually gets forced from Slug as well, so things are now a little sketchy. They're kind of forced to push out. Oh, they don't want to. Okay.
Yeah, because they actually got forced by
Yeah.
the play from, I believe that was Jello Jiggler and just the spam support of Riro, and they're just able to get that force, which means they now have that 20% Uber.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to get Uber in time as well. Ooh, Riro. If Riro dies, then that's just really bad for blue. Riro will be living. 90%, 15 seconds left. There's definitely a big time crunch on this Ubers, so I expect that Sticky's on point might just get like a kill. Uber does get popped. Seer's quite weak as well. Gun does go down. Spoon does find a kill on point. Yeah, this is a hold. And let that be an example of just sort of that time crunch with the Uber. You just need to get bodies on point, so it's a lot easier for the defenders to know how to play around that.
Yeah, and just that small amount of time you have to push last, it's just, you might even not realize how much extra time you need, but you gotta make sure you spend time to get players buffed up, make sure you're ready to go, because, you know, Sears went into that Uber and they had so many people getting flashed that it didn't work out. We're into this next mid fight. I think Bane did off-class check again in case there was that sniper to mid, but there isn't anything like that happening here. Greg is going to get picked off early. Exile does get the trade kill onto Jello Jiggler, so it's still a 5 versus 5, but it's a scout versus a soldier here, so it's going to be interesting how this then transpires. Riro very low, escapes on 1 HP. 6 trades with Spoon on point, though. That's a big demo pick, and now that Riro gets back here, this should help for Moose Hate Club because they want to take that long-term fight because you have that demo who's really good at doing a ton of damage if the fight goes on longer. Exile doing a couple of bombs trying to get something. Oh my goodness,
wow.
Slug!
Yeah, nice little air shot there with the arrows. And honestly, man, I don't know if Moose Hate Club needed to just full leave there. I think that the aura of that skybox was enough to be like, okay, we lost the fight. But, I mean, Uber's even now, and with a kill still. Okay, Riro is actually rolling out pretty fast, so they're not going to be able to capitalize that on too much. Exile hits.
Ooh.
Wow, what a sack there. Good use from Windows because that rocket did connect. But, man, fantastic sack there from Exile with basically no pressure as well. Just kind of went in and hit the rockets.
Yeah, Windows also got caught on the kind of the sidewall. You have to be very careful as a med. You don't want to stand too close to walls, or else you can get easily juggled into them. And then the second rocket becomes really a lot, just too easy, honestly, especially for the enemy soldier, especially once they get to, you know, a higher level like this.
Wow.
An actual drop from Riro onto Slug. That was a huge kill.
Spam drop as well.
Yeah, because 6 was the one who went in. That's okay.
Well, that's kind of exactly what Moose Hate Club needed to not lose here. And they're already at 80%. They're already looking to go. I mean, Slug is at least here, so the players are buffed. Eric and Greg find the kill. Wow. That is just something else. I mean, that upper IT dry push, I don't know if I'm a big fan of it just because of things like that.
Yeah, they just walked over lobby and Windows just got 3 rocket juggled by the soldier, and now it's going to be down 3. This is going to be really favorable for the Wild Rumpus team. They're already shoveling their way in, getting a ton of space. Spoon gets a kill onto 6. This is looking really bad for Moose Hate Club. It's just Tiny and Windows. Tiny doing her best to defend, but it is not enough, and Wild Rumpus team is going to win this 5-1.
Wow. I mean, just failed push out of last. I mean, last is already like a notoriously difficult point to push out of on really any map. Process isn't a particular exception, but on top of the difficulty, it's more just the what's the word I'm looking for? You get punished way harder. You lose so much more for failing, because if you beef a push into last, okay, whatever, you're like back to 2 or back to mid, sometimes back to second. But yeah, you beef a push out of last, you just lose the round. In this case, losing the game. That upper lobby push can be tough because there's just so many spam angles. I mean, a soldier upper IT is going to do a lot of spam. A soldier on Pizza or Trapezoid going to do a lot of spam. Yeah.
Do I see that right? Bane went 27-1 on Combo Scout.
Sounds like a Bane log to me.
1 death. My goodness. That's something else.
Yeah, Bane is a former teammate of mine. We played on Grand Seer in Advanced, which got second place, and I think Bane had a log like that against Fireball with only like one death. So definitely good stuff there. Slug as well. Very, very few deaths. I mean, honestly, everyone in the combo is doing a fantastic job of staying alive. Um, Seems to be making a big difference here.
Yeah, I'm taking another peek at these, and yeah, besides that, like, I mean, the demos seem to be. I mean, I think Spoon was doing a little bit better, but it wasn't like crazy, especially considering, his team won 5-1. But yeah, like the biggest log I can really see is that stat line from Bane, and also Windows having 9 deaths as opposed to only 3 deaths on Slug, which
Yeah.
med deaths are pretty important on just in general on CF2. If you lose your med a lot more, it's going to be really tough for your team to win.
Yeah, true. I mean, Spoon still dropped a really nice log, all things considered, because not only like top damage, but that's a lot of kills to get on demo without dying as much. Because as a demo, you can often get kills just by like holding W and trading out, but 24 kills to 9 deaths is definitely a very good ratio there. It's worth mentioning as well that the Wild Rumpus team is probably this is a worse roster than with Raven. I don't think it's super controversial to say that Raven's probably stronger on Soldier on this team than Greg as a ringer. So having such a dominant performance against the current second place team definitely makes these guys seem like the favorites to win advance this season.
Yeah, especially with a win over the other undefeated team. There's still going to be a couple more matches, and looking at the Wild Rumpus team, they only lost. There were a couple of games where they didn't win all 5 of the rounds, and they lost a round against another of the MGCS team. Do I have that right? I believe I do. Oh, the team that actually died already. Oh, but besides that, they've been doing really well, and Moose Hate Club has had some closer games. So I think, yeah, for the rest of the season, the Wild Rumpus team is going to be the favorites, or are going to be the favorites.
Yeah, true. And I did see some cope about sandbagging and whatnot in chat. I mean, it's not super unfounded, but I mean, in fairness, I think this is Eric's like first actual. Well, no, because the prior Wild Rumpus team, he did play a full season of advanced on what was surely a much weaker roster, but since then hasn't really
Yeah.
played a full season. Back since season 10, Bane has never played invite. Spoon, I think, is first season of advance, so definitely impressive performance considering that. But Exile, definitely like a really strong player to get on Soldier, like invite capable Soldier. And Slug, I mean, if you meds can sandbag, no one really cares. But I will say Slug definitely brings a lot as far as comms are concerned as a med, so definitely still a useful asset there.
Yeah, I do overall think the experience is a little bit more in favor of the Wild Rumpus team, but it's not like an insane amount. I mean, the Moose Hate Club also had Rira, who's got quite a bit of experience, so it's not like this team had no experience, and Tiny's got some decent experience there too. But I would definitely say the experience was favoring the Wild Rumpus team, so I guess it makes sense that they won this match. But yeah, that was still pretty decisive, even though um, I don't know that the logs maybe weren't like too crazy. Besides, like honestly, the biggest thing about the logs were just those 2 death stat lines. Besides that, the
Yeah.
logs don't look like insane in any way.
Yeah, I mean, Moose Hate Club definitely started out strong. They got the first round, but the momentum just slipped and never really recovered. And slowly but surely, Mild Rump is able to just close out round after round. But yeah, I don't know if that's or there's anything else for us to talk about. Do you have any shout outs?
Shout out to Siyo on production as well, and shout out to everyone watching. It's always great to have people watching. Shout out to everybody playing the season, both in advanced and invite, and all the divisions. Honestly, Can't wait to see hopefully some really good games later in the season from all the divisions, ideally.
Yeah, true. Shout outs production. Shout out to KJR. And shout out to Woods for saying shout out KJR as I'm saying it. But anyway, that's all from us. Hope you guys enjoyed this advanced coverage. Definitely looking like a top dog, maybe materializing here. But in the future, stay tuned. We'll have more coverage on advanced and other divisions as well. But for now, yeah, see you guys later.